Hi everyone and welcome to NCHC Between the Boards. I'm Greg Ankers. Coming up on tonight's show, highlights are ahead featuring two key conference battles, and we've also got the last non-conference game of the regular season. Commissioner Josh Fenton drops by later to preview the Battle on Blake set to take place at Coors Field this weekend featuring Denver and Colorado College, and we'll introduce you to two players who know all about international competition. All of that is straight ahead, but we'll drop the puck first on our Spotlight Series featuring number 2 North Dakota at number 13 Denver. Both teams entering off of bye weeks in this series and both rosters fully healthy and ready to go. Denver hoping to rewrite history this time around. The last time these two teams got together in Grand Forks, North Dakota swept the Pioneers, outscoring them 9-1 in Grand Forks. And Friday night at Magnus Arena would not disappoint the more than 6,000 fans in attendance. One of the best college hockey games we've seen all season long. North Dakota gets the party started. 5.5 minutes into the first, Christian Wolan, trailing on the play into the zone, gets the goal though to give North Dakota a 1-0 lead. Denver would answer back though at the other end of the ice. Nolan Zajac with the shot on, tipped out in front by Grant Arnold, as this one's tied up at 1 as the teams head to the locker room for the first time on the weekend. In the second, Denver would then take the lead off the faceoff just the way you draw it up. Win the draw, and then it's Danton Heinen feeding Trevor Moore for a 2-1 Pioneers lead. North Dakota would answer back though midway through the period. Great defensive play on one end by Gage Osmus, leading to a goal at the other end. Nick Schmaltz feeding Troy Stetcher, who goes top shelf for the goal there, as this one's once again tied up at 2 goals apiece. But just a couple minutes after that, Denver answering back at the other end. Trevor Moore going to find Adam Plant wide open on the backdoor side as Denver retakes the lead 3-2 after 2 in the third. North Dakota once again comes up with the equalizer just over 90 seconds into the period. Troy Stetcher feeding Brock Besser for the goal. This one tied up once again at 3 goals apiece, but Denver would retake the lead later on in the period. And again, from one end of the ice to the other, this time it's Danton Heinen with the goal as the Pioneers retake the lead at 4-3. Denver would then extend its lead short-handed later in the period off of the turnover. Quentin Shore does not miss from that spot as Denver takes a commanding 5-3 lead, but 30 seconds after that, North Dakota pulls its goaltender. They're still on the power play. Nick Schmaltz fires home the wrister, and it's a 5-4 game. But in the closing seconds, North Dakota would have a couple misplays by the defenseman. Troy Stetcher whiffs on it. Tucker Poolman falls down, and that leads to the empty netter by Heinen as Denver survives a back-and-forth affair, winning at 6-4 despite being outshot 45-31.
I think North Dakota played really well, and we matched it. And I don't think our players believed it until you saw us score 1-1. All of a sudden, it's like we can play with them because they did dominate us, so there was that mental effect. But once that went away, it was just great college hockey.
I thought we played well. We just had a few D-zone coverage breakdowns on their top line, and if you give those guys time and space, they're going to make plays, and that's what they did tonight, so we got to be better on that line tomorrow.
Both teams would come out on Saturday night looking to keep the offensive power up, and 8:31 into the first, Denver gets on the board first, and it's going to be Dylan Gambrell, that top line, once again giving North Dakota fits. Gambrell going top shelf to beat Cam Johnson for a 1-0 lead. But 30 seconds later, something about 30 seconds later, North Dakota with the quick answer at the other end. Luke Johnson feeding Austin Pagansky for the equalizer as this one's tied up at 1 once again after the first. In the second, Denver striking early in this mid-period. Jared Lucas-Savages alone in the slot fires home the wrister there for a 2-1 Denver lead. That lead would hold into the third when it would be extended. Trevor Moore going to get the goal as he somehow gets behind the UND defense as Denver goes up 3-1. Dylan Gambrell would add an empty netter as Denver goes on to win 4-1 on Saturday night, getting the all-important sweep on home ice.
Tonight I thought they just outplayed us, scoring their chances, and it was just they played well all weekend, and they deserved both wins.
We had great layers. They had to go through 2 or 3 people to try and make plays, and that's what you want, especially in a game like after the emotional win last night. You knew we weren't going to have as much energy, and neither did they. And it was going to be more of a game, the team that executed and showed the most desire to win battles was going to win tonight.
More highlights are yet to come on the program, including the final non-conference tilt of the regular season. That's coming up next as you watch NCHC Between the Boards. Welcome back. If Omaha is not comfortable at home, they're about to be given the opportunity to do so. Starting a 6-game homestand this past weekend, the Mavericks opened up Baxter Arena to the tune of 8-0, but they have dropped their last 4 at their new home, taking on a Western Michigan team, though, this past weekend that entered with just 1 road win all season long. And it would be the home team that would strike first in this one, and its special teams play would be key. Short-handed Tyler Vessel picks the puck and skates all the way in and scores to give the Mavs a 1-0 lead. In the second, Omaha extends the lead on more special teams play, this time on the power play. Omaha very potent there. Jake Gensel feeding Austin Ortega down low. The Mavs build a 2-0 lead. Late in the second, Western Michigan off the faceoff. Scott Moldenauer blasting one from the point, cuts the deficit in half at 2-1, but it's not enough as Omaha holds on for a 2-1 opening night victory in Baxter Arena.
You know, Western playing real well, and after they swept us, you know, there was a little revenge factor, but that didn't have anything to do with the game. I thought we played a lot better along the boards. We won our fair share of battles, and that hasn't been the case in the last couple of weekends.
Following the defensive showdown on Friday, it would be an offensive explosion in the first period on Saturday. Western Michigan, just 21 seconds into the game, Michael Rebry throws one on net from the corner, somehow gets by everybody, including the most important Evan Wenninger, for a 1-0 lead. Omaha, though, striking back. Justin Parizek, short-handed, breaking in by himself, ties things up at 1 goal apiece. Western would answer, though, later in the period, working a power play. And it's Nolan Laporte with the goal here to put the Broncos back out in front, 2-1. Omaha, though, would have the answer, a key answer. Late in the first, Tyler Vessel from the faceoff gets the game-tying goal to tie things up at 2 apiece after 1. Then in the second, the Mavericks start to control play. Tyler Vessel breaking out in front. He goes backhand for the goal to give Omaha a 4-2 lead. They go on to win 6-3 as the Mavericks get a sweep on their home ice.
I think that was the difference in the game. It really was when, you know, we scored right at the end of the second period, and then we got the go-ahead goal, you know, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, you know. That really set the tone. And then Evan made 2 sneaky saves in between when we were up 3-2.
On Saturday night, came out with great jump, ended up giving up another shorthanded goal and, you know, mishandling pucks at the blue line and letting their guys get in on breakaways. You talked about a phase during the game in the second period, about 6-7 minutes, where we didn't do our job.
Miami and Bowling Green set up the final non-conference regular season game for NCHC teams. Miami has turned things around offensively as of late, scoring 3 or more goals in 5 of their last 6 contests. The last time they did not score 3 goals in 1 was their last meeting against Bowling Green when they won 2-1 at home, this time looking for the series sweep over the Falcons playing on the road. After falling behind 1-0 in the first, in the second period, Miami would get a special team spark on the power play. The feed coming across to Anthony Lewis, and Anthony Lewis does not miss from that angle as that ties things up at 1 goal apiece. Then just 3 minutes later, Sean Corrali getting the go-ahead goal here for Miami as he works hard down low to give the Redhawks a 2-1 advantage. In the third, Miami extends the lead thanks to the stick work of Kiefer Sherwood, who comes up with the goal here for Miami out in front. That made it a 3-1 game. Then later in the period, Miami seals it with the empty netter from Matthew Cato as they go on to win 4-1, and they get the season sweep of in-state rival Bowling Green with the victory, out shooting the Falcons 49-22. Fresh off of the week, these are the players being honored by the NCHC for Players of the Week honors for the second time this season. Sophomore forward Danton Heinen takes home offensive honors. The forward from Denver had 2 goals and 5 assists. and a +7 rating in that sweep over UND this past weekend. Defensive honors for the week belong to Grant Hutton for the first time this season. Freshman from Miami had 2 assists against Bowling Green, including a setup for the game winner in that game. In the third time this weekend, rookie honors go to Dylan Gambrell, forward from Denver, who had 2 goals and 2 assists and a +4 rating in that Pioneers sweep over the Fighting Hawks. And for the first time this season, goaltender honors go to Evan Wenninger from Omaha. The freshman has won Freshman of the Week honors, but this time taking home goaltender of the week with 59 saves on 63 shots in a sweep over Western Michigan, good enough for 2.00 goals against average and a .937 save percentage. The polls have shuffled a little bit this week following last weekend's contest. The USCHO.com poll has St. Cloud State now at number 3 with North Dakota number 4. Denver cracks the top 10 while Omaha sits number 12. And the USA Today poll, very similar. St. Cloud State 3, North Dakota number 4. Denver cracking the top 10 there as well. Omaha currently sitting at number 11. The pairwise rankings this week continue to have St. Cloud State and North Dakota in the top 5 at number 2 and 3 respectively, while Denver and Omaha are in a tie for 8th place right now and both sitting comfortably to make the NCAA tournament as things stand today. The NCHC standings, the race for the Penrose Cup heating up between North Dakota and St. Cloud State. They're tied at the top with 41 points apiece. Denver comfortably sitting in 3rd, and Minnesota, Duluth, and Omaha tied entering this weekend for that last playoff spot for home ice as the NCHC quarterfinals are about to begin in just 3 weeks' time. Well, stay with us here on NCHC Between the Boards. Coming up next, Commissioner Josh Fenton drops by. Topics include overtime and the battle on Blake. Welcome back. Staying ahead of the game has been a focal point for Commissioner Josh Fenton since the league formed 3 years ago. He recently joined a Root Sports broadcast to preview the upcoming battle on Blake this weekend and also discuss the state of the league.
Commissioner, just to start us off, you're coming off a great season on the ice, 6 of the 8 teams making the national tournament. 2.5 years into this conference, what's the state of the conference and where do you see it headed going forward?
Well, we feel like the state of the conference is very good at this point. As you mentioned, we had a great competitive year last year with 6 of the 8 teams in the NCAA tournament. We're positioned to do something similar, hopefully, this year. Our teams have performed very well in the non-conference competition. We continue to have a great year-end event with the NCHC Frozen Face-Off in downtown Minneapolis at Target Center. But things like NCHC TV and various other fan engagement things that we've tried to do during the course of the year has really helped kind of promote and build the brand of the conference. And so we're excited where we are. We look forward to where we're going.
The league from the outset, Commissioner, has always been willing to try new things, it feels like, including the format for overtime play and adding a wrinkle this year where it's 5-on-5. If the game's tied, you go to the 3-on-3 for the extra point, and then the shootout. How important is it? How well has that gone? And how important is it for the league to mirror what the NHL does?
Well, I think you've seen the excitement, first of all, within 3-on-3, not only in our conference games, but obviously also in the NHL. And I give our coaches full credit. We had our spring meetings last year. This is something that really came from our coaches. They enjoyed the shootout, but they felt like the shootout maybe was a little bit stale at the end of the game, at the end of the 5-minute overtime, and they wanted to do something different. And some of our coaches have seen this done in junior hockey, and the American League has done it, and obviously now the NHL is doing it. Once again, it's another fan engagement thing that we can provide to our fans. The players love it, the coaches love it, and so we think it's on the right track.
Another exciting thing that the conference is providing to its fans is an outdoor game coming up February 20th. Battle on Blake, DU and CC. What a great event for hockey in the state of Colorado. What a great event for the league. Just talk about the preparation, everything leading up to it.
Yeah, well, we're very fortunate, obviously, to be working very closely with the NHL, which will obviously have the Stadium Series game the week later. And so they've helped with a lot of the preparations, things like video replay and obviously ice configuration, board configuration. But it is an exciting event for not only the conference, but most importantly for DU and for CC. To have a rivalry like that, the storied history and tradition of that rivalry, to play that game outdoors, it's going to be a special event in February, and I think fans will be treated to a wonderful evening.
Stay with us as we learn about 2 players who have a different perspective on what it means to play internationally. That's next as you watch NCHC Between the Boards. Oliver Caskey came to the States to play hockey in the USHL, but a visit to Western Michigan was all it took for this defenseman raised in Finland to continue playing on this side of the Atlantic. And so far, his time here in the United States playing and living has been smooth sailing so far.
My first experience with hockey was probably in Germany, where my dad played 3 years. And there I started to skate and, of course, hanging out at the rink when my dad played there. I was 3 when we moved back to Finland, and I joined the team when I was 4. It's probably not the most played sport. I think soccer is the most played sport, but it's like most popular for sure. Like in fans and the Olympic Games, got some medals, and we don't see that from soccer. So I like Ovechkin, the Russian players a lot. And when I got older, I started like the Swedish defensemen for sure. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Erik Karlsson, Johnny Klingberg. Those are probably the 3 guys I look up mostly. I was still supposed to go play USHL this season, but they offered me a scholarship right away, so I didn't see why not come straight away. Yeah, it's easy nowadays. Technology is so good. I mean, it's the time difference that's the biggest issue there. I got to call them like right after practice if I want to talk to them. It's 7 hours more than here, so yeah, but it's easy. I talk every week with my parents, so it's easy. It's huge. I mean, I used to eat food from like close farms, and like you pretty much know what you're eating. I don't think it's the same thing here every time. People don't go eat as much out like McDonald's and that stuff back home than they do here. So that was a small adjustment I had.
Caskey is not the only European player suiting up for the Broncos these days. He's also joined by sophomore forward Frederick Tiffels, who hails from Germany. Well, someone else in the league that also knows about playing internationally, but in the opposite direction, is St. Cloud State defenseman Will Borgen. Borgen recently competed for the U.S. at the World Junior Championships, and that opportunity is enhancing his college career.
He's a special defender. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of skill. Raw potential. He's a really good player, good size, good vision, good skater. I mean, he has all the assets that you need to be a good hockey player. Just the way he plays the game, moves the puck. He's got good feet, and he definitely helps us out on the back end. You know, it's just good to know that I have somebody out there with me all the time who's a really good hockey player and brings his A game every night.
For Will Borgen, the dream of playing for the United States has become a reality.
Coach sent me an email after one of our games on a Saturday night.
Pretty early on, Coach Motzko made an announcement after practice. I believe that I knew before then. He's pretty modest though for how good he is. He's not going to go around and toot his own horn and be like, hey everybody, I made World Juniors. He's not going to sit there and brag or anything like that. He just takes care of his own business, and he deserves to go out there.
The World Junior Championship features the best players in the world, ages 19 and under.
It was a lot of fun. It was great to meet some of the great players on that team, like Austin Matthews, playing with guys in the NCHC like Belpedio, Besser, Schmaltz. You're with them for almost a month together, so it's you definitely become close friends.
Game 1 of the tournament put the U.S. up against their rival from the north.
You get a little nervous playing against Canada, big rivalry. Canada brought like, I don't know how many, couple thousand fans to the games, and we had probably like 50, so it was pretty cool.
Late in the third, Borgen's assist to Miami's Belpedio became the deciding goal.
I just passed it to Belpedio, he shot it in, and it was exciting. Get the go-ahead goal.
Will Borgen comes across the line, snapshot, goal, big rebound! Borgen after his own rebound just pushed it wide.
We have a group chat amongst the team, and the guys did a really good job supporting him after every game, you know, shooting a text him. 4 or 5 guys after every game would throw something in there, you know, hey, nice game, Will. I mean, whenever you got a guy playing in there, you want to support him all you can, and he played well in the games that I watched. He did very good along with the team, and we were proud of him.
In the 5-game span without the freshman defenseman, the Huskies had 3 wins and 2 losses.
Anytime a player like that can contribute from the start and he goes away for a couple games, you're going to miss a guy like that. It's just nice to know that I have another solid defender out there with me, and then I know when I get him the puck, he's going to make a good play coming out of the zone as well. So that's also nice to know where I can be comfortable enough to give him the puck because I can trust him.
After nearly a month, number 20 returns home.
Yeah, I mean, you get a little tired, but I'm ready to be back at it. It was a great honor to be able to play for the country, and it was a lot of fun.
In his 8 games since returning to the lineup, St. Cloud State has fared very well with Borgen back in the black and red. The team has gone 6-1-1 over that stretch. Well, stay with us. We've got a full preview of this weekend's action right after the break. It's all NCHC play from here on out, as each team has 6 games left in the regular season, and all of them are conference contests ahead. And it should be quite a race for the Penrose Cup, as number 3 St. Cloud State is at number 12 Omaha. The Huskies currently tied atop the conference standings with number 4 North Dakota. The Fighting Hawks playing host to Minnesota Duluth this weekend. Number 10 Denver at Colorado College, a series that started last night in the Springs. It wraps up in the Battle on Blake at Coors Field tomorrow. We'll have full coverage of the event next week here on the program. And elsewhere in conference action, it's Miami at Western Michigan. We'll have highlights from all those contests right here next week on the program. We hope you'll join us then. Until next time, enjoy the games, everybody.